The gentle journey of human flight, from passenger planes to space shuttles, there is a quiet, soothing magic in the experience of air travel, a gentle calm that wraps around every traveler who settles into a plane seat, leaves the busy noise of the earth far below, and drifts into the soft stillness of the open sky. For most of us, flying has become a familiar, ordinary part of modern life, so ingrained in our daily routines that we rarely pause to marvel at the miracle unfolding above the clouds. We board large, smooth aircraft at bustling, sunlit airports, fasten our seatbelts with a habitual gesture, and feel the steady, low hum of engines as the plane glides steadily down the polished runway, lifts gently into the crisp air, and climbs above sprawling city rooftops, winding asphalt roads, and dense green forest canopies until the world below shrinks into soft, blurred patches of vibrant green, warm brown, and muted gray. We watch voluminous clouds drift slowly past the window, vast and fluffy and utterly silent, like floating islands of pure cotton suspended in a boundless, flawless blue ocean. We feel the gentle, rhythmic sway of the aircraft as it cruises through stable atmospheric air, a slow, rocking movement that feels like being lulled gently to rest, a natural lullaby woven perfectly from the soft whisper of wind and the endless quiet of the sky. This peaceful, everyday miracle of human flight is something we often take for granted, a seamless modern convenience, woven deep into the fabric of our fast-paced, busy lives. Yet every smooth, turbulence-free flight, every quiet journey through the layered atmosphere, is the precious end result of more than a century of curious human dreams, meticulous hands-on experimentation, countless brave and humbling failures, and relentless, unyielding human ingenuity. Every plane that carries us across bustling cities, sprawling countries, and distant continents carries with it the enduring legacy of every visionary inventor, every precise engineer, every hopeful dreamer who ever tilted their head upward to gaze at the endless sky and wondered if humans could one day break free from the unshakable bonds of the earth and soar freely like the wild birds that have ruled the heavenly expanse for millions of years. When we look out at the sophisticated, interconnected modern aviation world, two names stand towering above all others as the unshakable pillars of global commercial air travel. Two iconic manufacturers that have fundamentally shaped how billions of people across every continent experience the wonder and comfort of human flight, Airbus and Boeing. These two industry giants have spent decades refining and perfecting the intricate art and precise science of civilian flight, meticulously crafting generations of aircraft that masterfully balance incredible cruising speed, remarkable operational safety, generous passenger comfort, and reliable fuel efficiency. Their decades of innovation have transformed long-distance air travel from a risky, daring luxury adventure reserved for the privileged few into a safe, routine, and deeply peaceful experience accessible to ordinary people worldwide. Boeing, the trailblazing American aerospace pioneer, has deep roots stretching all the way back to the very earliest dawn of powered human flight, growing and evolving side by side with the entire aviation industry itself. For over 100 years, Boeing has designed, tested, and built revolutionary aircraft that have defined every distinct era of air travel, from the small, delicate, structurally fragile early biplanes of the 1910s to the massive, sleek, graceful jet airliners that fill our modern skies today. Rooted in a full century of accumulated hands-on engineering experience and iterative design refinement, Boeing aircraft are widely celebrated across the globe for their extreme long-term durability, rock-solid stable structural performance, and exceptional adaptability to the diverse, unpredictable global flight environments, covering every conceivable route type from short-haul domestic commuter voyages to ultra-long transoceanic intercontinental journeys. The Boeing 737, one of the most mass-produced and widely beloved aircraft in entire aviation history, is a ubiquitous, familiar sight at every major and regional airport around the world, a dependable industrial workhorse that safely carries millions of passengers on short and medium-haul journeys every single day. Its core design prioritizes unwavering stability and practical operational accessibility, making it the quiet, unshakable backbone of global domestic air travel and short-distance international routes. Larger still is the iconic Boeing 777, a sophisticated wide-body twin-engine jet that glides effortlessly across vast intercontinental distances, carrying hundreds of passengers smoothly over endless oceans and rugged mountain ranges with remarkable consistency and graceful precision, renowned industry-wide for its outstanding fuel efficiency and exceptional long-endurance cruising performance. For many decades, Boeing's legendary four-engine jumbo jet, the Boeing 747, reigned unrivaled as the queen of the skies, a massive, distinctive hump-nosed aircraft that perfectly symbolized the golden age of long-haul international flight. Its enormous fuselage size, ultra-spacious layered cabins, and powerful long-distance cruising capability turned grueling days-long sea voyages into mere hours of gentle, comfortable sky-high travel, revolutionizing global cross-border connection. Every Boeing aircraft ever produced is built with generations of accumulated engineering wisdom, painstakingly refined through countless test flights, thousands of incremental structural and mechanical improvements, and a relentless corporate focus on making human flight safer, quieter, smoother, and more comfortable for every single passenger and crew member on board Airbus, the innovative European aviation leader. Emerged later in aviation history than Boeing, but quickly redefined the endless possibilities of modern air travel with forward-thinking design philosophy and cutting-edge engineering technology centered entirely on elevating the overall passenger travel experience. Founded on the powerful principle of cross-border European scientific and industrial collaboration, Airbus set out to challenge the outdated aviation norms of the mid-20th century and create a new generation of aircraft that prioritize superior in-flight comfort, advanced aerodynamic efficiency, eco-friendly environmental performance, and state-of-the-art avionics navigation technology. Distinct from Boeing's core focus on rugged practicality and universal environmental adaptability, Airbus dedicates its entire research and design ethos to softening long-distance flight fatigue and cultivating a serene, tranquil in-air travel atmosphere for all passengers, regardless of flight duration. The Airbus A320 family, the direct and highly successful counterpart to Boeing's 737 series, stands as one of the most commercially triumphant and technologically advanced aircraft lines ever created. Boasting a sleek, streamlined aerodynamic fuselage design and optimized wing structures, it delivers exceptionally smooth, stable flights for short and medium-distance travel, effectively minimizing minor atmospheric turbulence and in-flight jitter during steady cruising, greatly reducing passenger physical discomfort. The larger Airbus A330 and A350 wide-body jets further elevated the standards of comfort and environmental efficiency for long-haul transoceanic travel, equipped with ultra-quiet optimized turbofan engines, finely refined smooth aerodynamic layouts, and humanized cabin spatial designs that actively reduce traveler physical stiffness and mental fatigue, making endless long hours in the sky feel calmer, softer, and far more restful. Most famous of all Airbus creations is the Airbus A380, the largest passenger airliner ever built in human aviation history, a majestic double-decker giant that feels far less like a conventional plane and more like a floating sanctuary suspended high in the sky. With its ultra-spacious layered cabins, wide panoramic observation windows, and incredibly stable cruising ability supported by its huge buffer wingspan, the A380 transforms even the longest exhausting international flights into a serene, unhurried, rejuvenating experience. The massive aircraft glides silently and steadily through the upper atmosphere with remarkable quietness, its enormous curved wings naturally smoothing out airflow turbulence and creating a gentle, consistent ride that lulls countless passengers into calm relaxation and quiet rest. Together, Airbus and Boeing have jointly built the prosperous, interconnected modern aviation landscape, turning commercial flight into a universal, accessible human experience, connecting once isolated remote communities, bridging long-standing cultural and geographical gaps, and shrinking our vast, sprawling planet into a small, tightly interconnected neighborhood where distance no longer acts as an insurmountable barrier dividing humanity. Every time we settle into a seat on a modern airliner, breathing the soft temperature-controlled cabin air, listening to the low, steady hum of finely optimized engines, and gazing out at the endless blue sky stretching infinitely before us, we are experiencing the final, polished result of a long, winding, and often arduous journey of human discovery that first began with two ordinary brothers and a simple, unshakable dream of touching the sky before the quiet reliability of modern Airbus and Boeing jets. Before commercial flight even existed as a viable concept, there was a transformative era of bold scientific experimentation and daring human curiosity, a time when controlled human flight was not a guaranteed reality but a distant, almost impossible fantasy dismissed by most mainstream experts. And among the most fascinating, nostalgic, and revolutionary chapters of aviation history stands the Concorde, a one-of-a-kind supersonic passenger jet that represented the absolute peak of bold, futuristic aviation ambition in the 20th century, holding an irreplaceable legendary status in the entire development trajectory of human aviation. The Concorde was never a plane engineered for routine travel or quiet practicality. It was a masterpiece of aviation art and extreme aerodynamic engineering, built purely for wonder and exploration, pushing the absolute physical and technological boundaries of what civilian aircraft could possibly achieve. Developed through decades of joint collaborative research by elite British and French aerospace teams and officially put into commercial service in the 1970s, it featured a futuristic sleek, slender, pointed fuselage and iconic triangular delta wings, a unique aerodynamic silhouette that looked decades ahead of its time, as if it belonged in a sci-fi future rather than the ordinary skies of the late modern world. Its most striking and revolutionary core feature was its unparalleled supersonic flight capability. Unlike ordinary subsonic commercial jets that cruise gently below the speed of sound, the Concorde could reach a maximum speed of 2.04 times the speed of sound, cutting traditional grueling transatlantic flight times nearly in half. A journey that takes 7 or 8 hours on a modern Boeing or Airbus jet took barely 3.5 hours on the Concorde. A breathtaking leap in travel speed that once seemed like pure, unimaginable magic to ordinary people. Yet for all its groundbreaking extreme speed, the Concorde offered a uniquely serene and luxurious travel experience in its own right, a rare and perfect combination of extreme velocity and ultimate flight smoothness unattainable by any modern civilian jet. It cruised at an altitude far higher than all ordinary commercial aircraft, completely escaping the low-altitude turbulence layers that inevitably affect every modern civilian airliner, meaning passengers experienced almost perfectly smooth, vibration-free, jitter-free flight throughout the entire duration of their journey. Travelers fortunate enough to board the Concorde would sit high above the Earth's atmospheric disturbance, watching the sky transform from bright blue to a deep, dark, vivid indigo purple at extreme altitude, witnessing the gentle, clear curvature of the entire planet stretch out endlessly below them, a privileged, awe-inspiring view very few humans have ever gotten to witness firsthand. Technologically pioneering in every way, it was also the world's first mass-operated civilian supersonic jet, equipped with an advanced early fly-by-wire control system that led the global aviation technological trends of its era and laid foundational groundwork for modern aircraft control systems. However, it possessed inherent structural and operational limitations that ultimately restricted its long-term commercial development. It consumed an enormous volume of aviation fuel per flight, produced extremely loud disruptive sonic booms during supersonic flight that disturbed ground communities, incurred exorbitant daily operational and maintenance costs, and could only carry a small limited number of passengers, making it completely unable to adapt to the large-scale, high-efficiency demands of modern civilian commercial aviation. The Concorde was never designed to be a mass-market mainstream aircraft. It was a powerful symbol of boundless human potential, fearless scientific exploration, and daring technological innovation, irrefutable proof that humanity could push past established natural and industrial limits and turn the most audacious aviation dreams into tangible, functional reality. After nearly 3 decades of prestigious commercial service, strict urban noise regulations, skyrocketing high operational costs, and rapidly changing global aviation market demands led to the Concorde's complete permanent retirement in 2003. Though it has long left our skies, its revolutionary legacy lingers softly and permanently in aviation history. It remains a quiet, powerful reminder that every modern, safe, reliable plane we fly on today began as a wild, unproven, doubted idea, and that every tiny incremental improvement in flight safety and performance comes from generations of persistent dreamers who refused to accept that the sky was humanity's ultimate limit. To fully understand and deeply appreciate the peaceful, effortless, reliable flight we effortlessly enjoy today, we must travel back more than a century to the dawn of aviation, to a primitive era when no human had ever piloted a powered, controlled, sustained aircraft, when the vast sky remained a completely untouched, uncharted frontier for human exploration. Before the Concorde's supersonic speed, before Airbus and Boeing's modern jetliners, before bustling airports, powerful jet engines, and seamless global air travel existed at all, there were Wilbur and Orville Wright, 2 unassuming ordinary brothers from a small town in Ohio, United States. Their quiet, insatiable curiosity, methodical scientific patience, and relentless iterative experimentation would go on to rewrite and completely change the entire course of human civilization forever. The Wright brothers were not wealthy industrial tycoons with unlimited funding, nor were they formally educated elite aerospace scientists with academic backgrounds. They were humble, hard-working small businessmen who ran a local bicycle repair and manufacturing shop in their quiet hometown. Their years of hands-on experience designing, building, and repairing bicycles taught them critical foundational lessons about structural balance, precise weight distribution, rigid structural stability, and intricate mechanical precision, all essential principles that would later become the unshakable foundation of their groundbreaking aviation breakthrough. Unlike many impulsive inventors of their era who rushed recklessly to build oversized, heavy, clumsy flying machines powered by unreliable, untested engines, the Wright brothers approached the unprecedented challenge of human flight with careful, systematic scientific logic and rigorous iterative testing. They spent countless hours closely observing the natural world, meticulously watching how wild birds subtly adjusted the shape and angle of their wings to catch shifting wind currents, how they gently tilted their bodies to execute smooth turns, and how they maintained perfect balance while gliding effortlessly through the air. In the late 1800s, the vast majority of people and prominent scientific authorities firmly believed that human-powered controlled flight was completely impossible. They argued that human bodies were far too heavy, too clumsy, and inherently earthbound to ever conquer the sky and rival the flight of birds. Many renowned mainstream scientists publicly dismissed the entire concept of controlled, powered human flight as a foolish, unattainable fantasy, a pointless waste of precious time and resources. But the quiet, determined Wright brothers refused to listen to widespread public doubt and academic skepticism. They were persistent, grounded dreamers who trusted empirical observation, hands-on experimentation, and trial and error far more than popular public opinion and authoritative academic consensus. The brothers did not rush blindly into building powered flying machines. They began their transformative aviation journey by thoroughly studying and mastering glider flight first, striving to fully understand the basic core principles of aerodynamic lift, wind resistance, and aerial balance before attempting to add complex engine power to their designs. In the early 1900s, after extensive research and location scouting, they chose to travel to remote Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, a secluded coastal town. Perfectly suited for aviation testing thanks to its steady, consistent coastal winds, soft sandy ground that effectively cushioned hard falls, and isolated open landscape free from tall trees and buildings that could disrupt natural airflow and skew test results. 4 years, they tested and revised glider after glider, facing a long string of frustrating failures that taught them invaluable lessons no textbook could provide. Their earliest 1899 kite tests and 1900 primitive glider attempts were plagued by 3 critical failures that halted their progress entirely. First, their initial fixed-wing design suffered from severe lateral instability. The rigid, unadjustable wings could not adapt to shifting wind gusts, causing the glider to roll violently side to side and crash repeatedly whenever wind conditions changed. At the time, all existing flying machine designs relied on rigid static wings, and no inventor had solved the problem of mid-air balance adjustment, leaving every early flight attempt vulnerable to sudden wind shifts. Second, Their early glider wings were structurally inefficient and mathematically miscalculated. They had initially adopted the widely accepted industry belief that flat or slightly curved wings generated maximum lift, but field tests proved flat wings failed to capture enough wind lift to support even the glider's lightweight frame, resulting in constant premature dives and abrupt crashes. Third, their primitive weight distribution system was unbalanced. They placed fixed heavy structural components in static positions, with no way to shift weight mid-flight, making it impossible to correct uneven lift and stabilize the glider during uneven wind flow. Every one of these early failures ended in rough crashes, damaging their prototypes and testing their patience. Yet the brothers never gave up. Instead of abandoning their goal, they meticulously documented every crash, analyzed every flaw, and targeted each failure with precise, intentional improvements. To fix the fatal lateral instability flaw, the brothers abandoned rigid fixed-wing designs and invented the revolutionary concept of wing warping, a groundbreaking adjustable wing technology that allowed them to twist the left and right wings of their aircraft independently to create differential lift on either side. This simple yet ingenious innovation solved the greatest problem that had plagued all previous flight attempts: uncontrollable rolling and sudden crashes. Before wing warping, every early flying machine could only move in a rigid straight line, crashing instantly whenever wind conditions shifted or the pilot attempted to change direction. To correct the insufficient lift of flat wings, they conducted hundreds of wind tunnel tests, an experimental method they pioneered specifically for aviation research, testing dozens of different wing curvature ratios, finally identifying the optimal arched camber shape that maximized aerodynamic lift while minimizing wind resistance. To resolve weight imbalance issues, they redesigned the glider's internal structure to allow adjustable weight placement and refined the pilot's seating position to enable subtle body shifts for mid-flight balance correction. Building on these hard-won improvements, they further developed the revolutionary three-axis flight control system, controlling pitch, vertical tilt, roll, side-to-side tilt, and yaw, horizontal turning, a foundational aviation breakthrough that remains the fundamental control system for every fixed-wing aircraft ever built, from the smallest hobby drone to the largest commercial airliner flying in our skies today. After years of grueling iterative testing, countless failed glider prototypes, and targeted design revisions that eliminated every core flaw in early flight technology, the brothers finally mastered stable, controllable glider flight and perfected their revolutionary three-axis control system. They then turned their full attention to the ultimate challenge: powered, sustained human flight. At that time, no commercial engine existed that was lightweight enough to power their delicate wooden airframe without overwhelming its structural capacity. All available industrial engines were far too heavy, bulky, and fuel inefficient for aerial use. Undeterred by this major technological barrier, the two brothers hand-built their own ultra-lightweight gasoline engine entirely in their small bicycle shop, crafting every single metal and mechanical part by hand with extraordinary precision and meticulous attention to detail. They also discarded existing rigid propeller designs, carving their own custom wooden propellers based purely on their aerodynamic research, becoming the first inventors to realize that aircraft propellers were essentially rotating wings that generated continuous lift and forward thrust through aerodynamic movement, rather than simple rotating fans. By the historic year of 1903, Every component of their revolutionary flying machine was fully refined and complete. A lightweight flexible wooden frame covered in durable muslin fabric, a custom-built ultralight gasoline engine, hand-carved aerodynamically optimized propellers, and their game-changing wing warping 3-axis control system. On the crisp, cold, windy morning of December 17, 1903, at the remote Kitty Hawk test site, Orville Wright climbed aboard the fully assembled Flyer I, and the two brothers prepared for humanity's first official attempt at powered, sustained, controlled human flight. Against all scientific skepticism and public doubt, the delicate plane lifted cleanly off the sandy ground under its own independent engine power, flew steadily and smoothly through the gusty air for 12 full seconds, and traveled a distance of 120 feet before landing safely on the sand. The brothers completed 4 successful controlled flights that landmark day, with the longest attempt lasting 59 full seconds and covering more than 850 feet of controlled aerial travel. It was a quiet, unassuming, uncelebrated moment that single-handedly changed the entire trajectory of human history. No large crowd of spectators gathered to witness the event. Only a handful of curious local onlookers stood by to watch the modest test. No grand official announcement or media coverage followed this unprecedented achievement. Yet in that brief, quiet, perfect flight, humanity finally broke free from thousands of years of unbreakable earthbound limitation. For the first time in all of human history, a human being had flown in a fully powered, completely controllable aircraft, proving definitively that the sky was no longer an exclusive, untouchable domain reserved only for birds and wind. The 1903 Kitty Hawk successful flight was only the humble beginning of the Wright brothers' transformative aviation journey, not its conclusion. In the years immediately following their historic breakthrough, they continued to refine and upgrade their aircraft design relentlessly, fixing minor structural flaws, improving engine reliability and stability, extending feasible flight time and travel distance, and perfecting in-air maneuverability and control precision. By 1905, after 2 full years of additional testing, failed prototype tweaks, and targeted improvements, they had built the revolutionary Flyer III, the first fully practical airplane in human history. This refined aircraft was capable of sustained, stable circular flights of over 30 minutes in duration, fully controllable and reliable under normal stable wind conditions, marking the true birth of viable human aviation. Despite their unprecedented achievements, much of the mainstream public and scientific community remained stubbornly skeptical and dismissive. Many prominent newspapers refused to report on their groundbreaking achievements, arbitrarily dismissing their well-documented flight claims as elaborate hoaxes and fraudulent publicity stunts. Undeterred by widespread doubt and neglect, the two brothers continued rigorous field testing and public flight demonstrations, traveling across the United States and throughout Europe to showcase their revolutionary invention and prove its authenticity. Slowly but surely, through consistent, verifiable demonstrations, the entire world finally began to realize the true magnitude of the historic creation they had built. The glorious age of human flight had officially begun, and nothing in human civilization would ever be the same again. The invention of the airplane did not merely add a new, faster form of transportation to human society. It completely rewrote the entire trajectory of human civilization, profoundly reshaping global culture, international commerce, scientific research, military development, geographic exploration, and cross-border global connection in ways that no other single invention had ever achieved before. For all of human history prior to 1903, human movement and exploration were strictly limited to the surface of the Earth. Long-distance travel across vast continents required months of dangerous, storm-prone sea voyages or slow, grueling, labor-intensive overland journeys across rugged terrain. Remote rural and island communities remained completely isolated for dozens of generations, cut off entirely from global cultural exchange, international trade networks, and the spread of new knowledge and ideas. News traveled slowly across continents, innovative ideas spread gradually across regions, and distant nations remained strangers to one another, separated by insurmountable geographical barriers. The invention of the airplane erased these ancient, long-standing barriers entirely. It compressed time and distance on a global scale, turning weeks of exhausting travel into mere hours of smooth flight, connecting isolated remote villages to bustling global cities, and allowing human beings to traverse the entire breadth of our planet with unprecedented ease and speed. Global trade expanded exponentially. Valuable goods that once took months of risky transportation to move across continents and oceans could now travel across the world in a single day, laying the foundation for complex global supply chains, interconnected international economies, and unprecedented levels of global prosperity. Cross-cultural exchange flourished as ordinary people could now travel freely across national borders, sharing diverse art forms, musical styles, spoken languages, traditional customs, and innovative ideas across every corner of the globe. Global education and scientific research benefited enormously from aviation progress. Researchers could easily travel to remote field research sites, collaborate face-to-face with international colleagues across the world, and study distant ecosystems, extreme climates, and unique geological landscapes in ways that were once completely impossible. Human understanding of our own planet deepened dramatically, as flight granted humanity the unprecedented ability to view the Earth from a bird's-eye perspective, map uncharted remote territories, track complex global weather patterns, and observe the grand interconnected scale of Earth's natural systems. Aviation technology also fundamentally transformed human ability to respond to global crises and practice cross-border compassion and aid. Rapid air travel enabled efficient large-scale disaster relief, allowing food, clean water, emergency medicine, and professional rescue teams to reach earthquake zones, flood-stricken regions, wildfire-devastated areas, and remote disaster-stricken communities within mere hours, saving countless millions of human lives throughout the 20th and 21st centuries. Advanced medical air transport created sophisticated emergency evacuation systems that swiftly carry critically ill and severely injured patients from isolated rural and mountainous areas to well-equipped advanced urban hospitals, turning certain death into survival for countless vulnerable people across the globe. The airplane completely redefined human empathy and global solidarity, making large-scale international aid and unified global humanitarian support possible on an unprecedented historical scale. Even in times of lasting peace, commercial aviation serves as a powerful unifying force for all humanity. Every single day, millions of people of vastly different nationalities, native languages, religious beliefs, and cultural backgrounds fly side by side on shared flights, breathing the same cabin air, gazing at the same quiet sky, witnessing the same endless distant horizon, and recognizing the common humanity that binds all people together beyond superficial differences. The vast sky recognizes no man-made national borders, and human flight has taught humanity to see our entire planet as a single, interconnected shared home rather than a fragmented collection of divided, separate nations. Of course, aviation technology also evolved and matured at an accelerated pace driven by global conflict, as many of the greatest technological advancements in flight history were fast-tracked by the urgent practical pressures of World War. In the early 20th century, shortly after the Wright Brothers' invention, primitive airplanes were quickly adapted for strategic military use, rapidly evolving from fragile recreational flying machines into fast, sturdy, powerful aircraft capable of long-distance patrol travel and high-speed tactical maneuvering. While large-scale war inevitably brings profound human suffering and irreversible loss, the urgent technological progress born from these turbulent eras accelerated the development of civilian aviation dramatically. Improved high-power engine technology, refined aerodynamic combat designs, stronger lightweight alloy materials, and precise advanced navigation systems originally developed exclusively for military aircraft were quickly adapted and integrated into commercial aviation immediately after major conflicts ended, fast-tracking the rapid growth of passenger flight, cargo aviation, and global air travel infrastructure across the world. By the mid-20th century, commercial air travel had successfully transitioned from a rare, expensive luxury reserved exclusively for the wealthy elite to an accessible public service available to ordinary people from all walks of life, laying the solid technological and industrial groundwork for the advanced Airbus and Boeing aircraft we rely on for safe, comfortable travel today. As human mastery of atmospheric flight grew increasingly refined and sophisticated throughout the 20th century, humanity's innate dreams of soaring far beyond the Earth's sky and into the vast, endless emptiness of outer space began to take firm root in the scientific community. Humanity reasoned that if we could fully conquer the challenges of atmospheric flight, we could surely reach for the distant stars beyond our planet. This quiet, persistent, unyielding human ambition gave birth to the next great chapter of aviation and aerospace history, the rapid development of spaceflight and the iconic NASA Space Shuttle program, which perfectly bridged the technological gap between conventional atmospheric aviation and true deep space exploration. For decades immediately following the Wright brothers' revolutionary invention, all aircraft were strictly confined to the Earth's atmosphere, limited by air-breathing engine technology and aerodynamic lift mechanisms that only functioned within breathable air. To break free from atmospheric constraints and reach outer space, humanity required entirely new, revolutionary technology. Powerful rocket propulsion systems capable of operating in the airless vacuum of space, ultra-heat-resistant materials able to withstand the extreme high temperatures of atmospheric re-entry, and specialized spacecraft designs engineered to survive the zero-gravity radiation-filled environment beyond Earth's atmosphere. In the mid-20th century, ambitious global space exploration programs began to take formal shape across leading nations, driven by insatiable scientific curiosity and the universal human desire to explore the unknown and expand the boundaries of human knowledge. The earliest space missions relied entirely on disposable rockets and small basic capsules, compact, simple vessels that carried a handful of astronauts into low Earth orbit for brief flight durations before splashing back down into ocean waters for recovery. These early primitive space missions were groundbreaking and historic, yet they were severely limited in capability, extremely costly, and completely non-reusable, requiring brand new custom-built hardware for every single individual spaceflight. Aerospace scientists and engineers across the globe dreamed relentlessly of creating a fully reusable space vehicle, one that could launch into orbital space like a powerful rocket, maneuver freely in zero-gravity space like a dedicated spacecraft, and glide smoothly back to Earth and land gently on a standard runway just like a conventional airplane. A revolutionary craft that could perfectly merge the precise aerodynamic principles of traditional aviation with the raw, powerful thrust of advanced spaceflight. That ambitious decades-long dream finally became reality with the NASA Space Shuttle program, one of the most ambitious, extraordinary, and groundbreaking engineering projects in all of human history. The first official Space Shuttle flight successfully launched in 1981, marking a transformative new era of reusable human spaceflight and deep space exploration. The Space Shuttle stood as an unparalleled marvel of combined aviation and aerospace engineering innovation. Its complex structure consisted of a large external fuel tank, two powerful solid rocket boosters, and a winged orbital vehicle that functioned seamlessly as both a fully operational spacecraft and a high-performance atmospheric glider. During launch, the shuttle relied entirely on rocket thrust power to break free from Earth's strong gravitational pull and climb steadily into stable low Earth orbit. Once safely in the airless vacuum of space, the winged orbiter could maneuver freely in all directions, conduct sophisticated long-duration scientific experiments, deploy precision satellites into stable orbit, repair damaged space equipment, and provide critical support for the ongoing construction of global space stations. When its assigned mission was fully complete, the orbiter would re-enter Earth's dense atmosphere at extreme supersonic speed, enduring scorching temperatures of thousands of degrees on its specially engineered heat-resistant ceramic tiles, before smoothly transitioning into a controlled gliding flight, descending steadily through the layered atmosphere, and landing gently and precisely on a standard airport runway just like a conventional commercial airplane. For 30 consecutive years, the NASA Space Shuttle fleet carried countless astronauts, scientific researchers, and vital heavy equipment into orbit, completely revolutionizing the scope and capability of human space exploration. The shuttle program enabled the successful launch and long-term maintenance of the Hubble Space Telescope, one of humanity's most powerful and transformative scientific tools, which has captured breathtaking high-resolution images of distant galaxies, newborn stars, and swirling cosmic nebulae, exponentially expanding human understanding of the vast, endless universe beyond our planet. The shuttle program also facilitated the large-scale construction and long-term operation of the International Space Station, a permanent orbital laboratory where professional scientists from dozens of nations across the globe live and work together collaboratively to study zero-gravity physics, space biology, galactic astronomy, and human physical adaptation to deep space environments. What makes the Space Shuttle so profoundly meaningful in the grand story of human flight is its direct, unbroken technological connection to the Wright Brothers' original foundational dream. The Wright brothers invented controlled, stable atmospheric flight to free humanity from the permanent limitations of terrestrial life. The Space Shuttle took that exact same core principle of controlled, stable, maneuverable flight and extended it far beyond the boundaries of the sky, transforming ordinary atmospheric flight into unprecedented interstellar exploration. Every smooth Space Shuttle landing was a profound tribute to the basic aviation principles the Wright brothers discovered through years of painful trial and error: aerodynamic balance, controlled lift, precise directional control, and structural aerodynamic stability. The same simple wing warping logic that allowed the fragile first flyer to turn gently in shifting wind currents evolved over an entire century of iterative innovation into the complex computerized aerodynamic control systems that guided the massive Space Shuttle orbiter safely home from the endless vacuum of deep space. As we reflect on this long, gentle, uninterrupted journey of human flight, from the quiet sandy dunes of remote Kitty Hawk to the endless black expanse of outer space, we can clearly see a continuous, unbreakable thread of human curiosity, patient dedication, and gentle persistent progress running through every single chapter of aviation history. Every modern Airbus and Boeing jet that carries peaceful travelers safely across the sky, every bold supersonic innovation like the revolutionary Concorde that pushed humanity past existing speed limits, every daring Space Shuttle mission that carried human dreams beyond our atmospheric home, all trace their direct origins back to two humble, persistent brothers who refused to believe that human potential was limited by the physical boundaries of the world we stand upon. Flight, in all its evolving forms, is far more than a mere technological achievement for human civilization. It is a pure, profound reflection of the resilient human spirit, our innate, unquenchable desire to explore the unknown, to reach higher than before, to see further into the distance, and to connect more deeply with the world and vast universe that surrounds us. When you settle into an airplane seat today, feeling the soft, steady hum of refined modern engines, watching fluffy clouds drift slowly past your window, and sinking into the calm, rhythmic quiet of steady flight, you are not merely experiencing a convenient modern travel luxury. You are experiencing the cumulative culmination of more than a century of human hope, humbling failure, diligent learning, and steady growth. You are sharing in the quiet, hard-won victory of every dreamer who ever looked upward at the sky and wondered what incredible possibilities lay beyond the distant horizon. The smooth, peaceful flight that lulls you into deep relaxation is the exact same powerful force that shrank our once divided planet into a united, interconnected community, that allowed humanity to lift each other up and help one another across vast geographical distances, that let us study our own world and the endless universe with greater clarity, precision, and wonder than ever before in history. It is the same transformative force that carried humanity from static earthbound limitation to the boundless, endless possibility of deep space exploration. As you rest your body and calm your mind, let the gentle rhythm of this extraordinary flying story soothe your mind and ease every tension in your body. Let the profound knowledge of human progress, quiet persistent effort, and boundless natural curiosity wrap around you like a soft, warm blanket. Every great human journey, whether it is a simple cross-country flight, a century of arduous aviation innovation, or the quiet personal journey toward peaceful rest, begins with a single brave step, a single curious thought, and a willing heart ready to soar gently forward into the unknown. The sky is vast, quiet, and infinitely peaceful, holding all human dreams safely within its endless blue expanse. And just as humanity learned to fly gently through the sky and reach boldly for the distant stars, you too can rest gently, safely, and completely peacefully in the quiet calm of this present moment. There is no rush in this moment, no noisy chaos, no urgent pressure. The long, beautiful story of human flight unfolds slowly, steadily, and gently, just like the slow drift of clouds across a clear blue sky, just like the quiet glide of a modern jet through calm, stable atmosphere, just like the peaceful rhythm of your own breathing as you settle deeper and deeper into complete relaxation. Every detailed chapter of aviation history teaches us that all great human achievements grow from quiet patience, consistent daily effort, and unwavering curious determination. The Wright brothers did not build a perfect, functional airplane in a single day of work. They experimented slowly and carefully, adjusted their designs methodically, learned calmly from every frustrating setback and repeated failure, and progressed gently and steadily toward their ultimate goal over years of dedicated work. Airbus and Boeing did not create their flawless modern airliners overnight. Every smooth, safe flight we enjoy today is built on thousands of tiny, incremental improvements made patiently over decades of research and testing. The Concorde's breathtaking bold speed and the Space Shuttle's cosmic exploratory reach were never sudden miracles. They were the hard-earned result of years of quiet, careful planning, meticulous repeated testing, and unwavering steady dedication from countless engineers and inventors. This gentle, gradual, persistent progress is the true nature of all meaningful human achievement, and it is also the true nature of peaceful, restorative rest. You do not need to rush into calm and relaxation, just as humanity did not rush into the miracle of controlled flight. You can settle slowly into your surroundings, breathe deeply and evenly, and let every word of this quiet story lull your busy mind into perfect stillness. Feel every trace of tension leave your tired shoulders. Let your mind release every chaotic busy thought and every small daily worry, and allow yourself to drift naturally into the same quiet peace that wraps around every plane soaring high above the bustling world below. The sky has always been a sacred place of calm, of endless open space, of quiet untapped possibility. For over a century, humanity has soared freely within that calm, exploring, connecting, and growing beyond our old limitations. Now, you can rest fully within that same unchanging calm, safe, steady, and completely at peace as your eyes grow heavy and your breathing slows to a deep, steady rhythm. Continue to hold in your mind the beautiful, unbroken story of human flight, from two ordinary brothers with an extraordinary dream, to the first shaky, glorious seconds of powered controlled flight, to the sleek, peaceful commercial jets that connect our entire world today, to the bold supersonic visions that pushed humanity past our perceived limits, to the towering, unprecedented achievement of spaceflight that carried human dreams far beyond the boundaries of the sky. It is a timeless story of gentle courage, quiet persistence, and endless childlike wonder. A story that continues to unfold slowly, peacefully, and beautifully every single day. And as you drift into deep, restful, uninterrupted sleep, you can carry that same profound sense of peace, persistent resilience, and gentle wonder within you, resting fully, safely, and serenely beneath the endless, quiet, boundless